Hey, it's Cody. I'm on here to complain. So you may have noticed from the title of this video that I am considering breaking up with my local metaphysical shop. I went there and I had, I think, the grossest experience I've ever had going there. And it bothers me. I actually feel kind of weird that I did buy something from there after the shit that I saw. Yeah, so I kind of feel like this is a problem. Okay, this video, by the way, is less about tarot specifically, and more really just about, like, the spiritual community as a whole, and some changes that I've been noticing in it, and they're not for the better, okay? I don't want to sit here and, like, bitch that, oh, fucking younger people are getting into this, or, like, it's becoming more mainstream or things. I mean, stuff like that, when things get a little more mainstream, they tend to get watered down. I've seen memes acting like, oh, witchcraft is just spicy psychology, or it's, fuck, what was the other one? I think I've made fun of this other one before. Some shit about, oh, just, venerating the ancestors. Like, no, that's not the case. But, okay, that shit aside, that's not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is my local metaphysical shop. So, I live in the United States, in the state of Colorado, and I live in a horrible little small town. I do not recommend moving from a city to, like, a rural environment. Well, okay, it's not the environment that I hate, it's the fucking people that live here. I'm getting on tangents, I'm sorry. Okay, the point, Jesus, I think I got cat hair in my fucking coffee, because I was in a fucking tizzy while I was pouring the shit this morning. So I drive 45 minutes to a metaphysical shop in the city of Colorado Springs, and I believe it's called Celebrations Metaphysical Center. I don't know, it's fucking Celebration something. Now, it used to be in, like, the old part of town where shit was, like, kind of falling apart and stuff, and it was in, like, what used to be a house. The issue was, it had a very different feel before it moved to where it is now, but it wasn't, like, wheelchair accessible to get to, like, the downstairs part of it. It was a very narrow, steep little staircase. So I do see why they moved, but when they moved, it's because they were no longer locally owned. They were bought out by some people in California. They had all new staff. Just the entire feel of the place is different. They had bought it out in the old location, and something just felt off all of a sudden. A bunch of, like, things that, like, people locally had made weren't there anymore. They would have jewelry that people, you know, in the area had made, or, like, bags for decks, like drawstring bags that people had sewn, or just in the fucking area. And now all of a sudden that shit was gone. It was just, the whole thing suddenly felt very much, just less personal. And then they moved. They moved to a place, that's much more, like, in the hustle and bustle of the city, right? I mean, I guess that makes sense. But okay, I'm complaining about it moving. It's not really the moving. I feel like I'm attributing it to that, but it was getting bought out. So it used to always be the same people working in there. You know, they would remember you from last time. You could ask them things. Now it's different people working there literally every time. There's one guy I think is, like, the manager, and I've seen him more than once. But all the other employees are different every single time I go in there. I mean, and I go there every couple months, maybe. But that's a pretty high turnover rate. And it's just, it has a very almost sterile sort of feeling, that I didn't appreciate, but they hadn't really done anything to me, you know, personally, for me to be like, nah, I don't want to go there anymore. Until just a couple days ago when I went there. So I was going there because I've been, like, obsessively following the Tarot of the Owls. I think it came out, I think just last month or something, and it's been, out of stock, online and stuff. Like, fuck, man. So I was like, well, let me see if this shop actually has it, like, in store. And it did. So, when I go there, I like to usually get, like, a little crystal or something that I feel like kind of goes with the deck. Like, the deck has, like, a little gift coming home with me. So, I'm over there, and there's two ladies working there that I've never seen before. Well, a customer walks in, and I wish that I'd paid more attention when she walked in and how exactly this shit started. But what I gather from what I heard was that she was feeling very anxious and stressed, and that she was looking to see if something in there could help her with that. And one lady, I mean, jumped on her ass like a fucking saleswoman, right? I fucking hate salespeople, okay? And the lady started saying, like, oh, you need to look into this and that, and she was just being really loud about it. She was, like, traipsing this customer all over the store, and there was quite a few people in there. It was a Saturday afternoon, so it's not like it was just an empty store with her in there. So she was, first of all, kind of making it, like, everyone else's business, and maybe the customer didn't really want that, because the customer kept talking really quiet, and then the employee was, like, really loud. And I heard her saying things like, oh, well, do you work with moon cycles? And the lady said no. And the lady kept repeating, I don't know anything about this. And this employee kept fucking going. She's like, oh my god, you don't even work with the moon cycles? She's like, no. And it was bizarre to watch. She just kept going, talking about angel numbers and fucking, she had this customer holding a lady who knew nothing about any of this and had made it very clear that she did not know anything about it. She had this lady carrying around 2 tarot decks, books on numerology, fucking, it was just bizarre. And she kept saying, oh god, wish I remember the phrase exactly. Some shit about listen to your heart space. What the fuck does that even mean? What? And the customer was confused. She looked upset. She's just, the lady's like, oh, you don't cleanse your house? She said she doesn't fucking know anything about this. She does not cleanse her fucking house. God, and the lady was just telling her bizarre shit to do. Like, oh, you just need to get this crystal and cleanse it. And then do all these other 400 things and buy fucking $600 worth of shit from this store. That's... the whole experience, I don't want to go back there. I walked out about the same time as the customer was, because I kind of lurked in there to, like, listen to what was happening. Like, me and other customers were looking at each other like, what the fuck? And the lady had, luckily she had said she didn't want a bunch of the shit. She came out with, like, a little paper bag. She might have bought, like, a couple tumbled crystals or something. But the look on her face definitely was that she was not going to be going back there. And I think that I probably won't either. The fact that that's how an employee would behave and treat someone that came in for help with fucking anxiety, okay? She felt stressed, and she went into the store, and this lady's trying to make her buy a bunch of shit that she doesn't fucking need. That shit's not gonna help her. Like, okay, I'm trying to think how to say this. First of all, if your anxiety is fucking overwhelming you and affecting your life, you're gonna need professional fucking help, first of all. No fucking crystals or candle burnings are gonna magically fucking cure that, okay? That should always be fucking said, okay? Anyone who's telling you any different is full of fucking shit. Don't listen to them. And to act like all this shit is necessary, especially for someone who doesn't know anything about it. It's like, oh, well, you can't even fix this problem until you know all the shit that you should already fucking know. Like, she doesn't fucking know any of it. Give her something simple, okay? Get yourself some counseling, some fucking medication if you need it. All right, here are a couple, like, crystals maybe, you know, that might help. Or here, light a blue candle because that's calming. Or, you know what I mean? There are ways to do this without heaping someone with a bunch of books and bullshit they're acting like that you need to learn first. It was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. In fact, it reminded me, I used to work at a store called Motherhood Maternity. It was literally a maternity store in the mall. And at one point they hired this lady who was obsessed with, like, getting sales, and she would literally elbow me out of the way of the fucking register if I was getting ready to check somebody out. Like, it was bizarre. And that's what this felt like to me. It was just, the whole thing was gross. It left me with such a bad taste in my mouth. And I feel like maybe when she was hired, they didn't know she was quite like that, or, you know, but it's just that overall feeling of it suddenly being, like, sales, you know, and it didn't used to feel like that in there before. It used to just be, okay, I will admit sometimes they were actually kind of not helpful, because they would pull that, oh, I don't know, whatever you feel you need. Like, if somebody doesn't know what the fuck they're even looking at, they can't feel that they need anything. That's not how it works. That pissed me off. I don't know if you can tell, but it fucking pissed me off. So, I think I'm not going to be going back there. I mean, it's kind of my only option if I want to physically get something. Like, when I walked out of there, I got the Tarot of the Owls, and I'm not a person who buys a bunch of, like, fancy stuff, really. Like, when I buy spell candles, if I buy spell candles, my dog's just sitting here bitching. Come here. Come. I just buy the white ones. I mean, unless I have some really, like, big working that I feel like I need to do or something. I'm not gonna be picking specific colors and shit. I mean, that's just me. They don't cost any different than colors and shit. I got that. I got those, what are those fucking incense? You know, the ones that are everywhere. Satya Baba, sandalwood? No, Nag Champa. Those are my favorite incense. I've never found ones that, like, smell like magic to me. Besides those. So, that's what I get. I walked out with that shit. A tarot deck. That's just kind of how I am. I tend to not be really, I don't know. I basically just go with the basics, and whatever, like, fluff and floof I need around it is just from shit that I have. So I was kind of thinking, this, I'm sure, is a problem in a lot of, like, metaphysical kind of shops. I'm positive I'm not the only bitch who walked into one and either saw or had that bullshit happen to them. I mean, you know what I mean? And when you're new, you don't know. You just don't fucking know. So, if you want to break up with your metaphysical shop, you can. Do it. There's nothing saying that you have to go to it. You can always order shit online, but you know my favorite thing to do? I like to go to secondhand shops, right? There's a Goodwill in the state of Colorado. I don't know if it's anywhere else. There's a store called The Ark, and it's got really good stuff. Just secondhand stores get stuff that you can use. Oh my god. Ma'am. You cute? Here. I'll make her. Come look at the camera so people can see that you're cute. Come here. There, you got a hug. That's annoying, isn't it? Go. I like to go there, and I've gotten a lot of my altar kind of stuff. I want to show it, but now I'm one-handed because I'm having to pet a damn dog that's jumping at me. So I wanted to show off some of my secondhand finds, because you know what? That's a fantastic place to find shit, and if you've got pushy employees and shit at your local metaphysical shop, or if you don't have a local metaphysical shop, there are other options. And I encourage you to explore those other options, because I feel like these stores are getting a little full of themselves. Knock them down a peg or two. So this is my little offering dish. It's got little flowers on it. It's very beautifully made. It was made by somebody. Oh yeah, I forgot my things backwards. Somebody named Amanda. At some point, this was handmade, and I love that. It's perfect. I put waters in it, fucking offerings to, you know, whatever. My coffee mug I just recently got, and I think it's super cute. I also found this thing. This is... Oh no, it didn't come out like I wanted. Okay. There we go. It's just a little branch piece. I don't know. This was also handmade by somebody. And it fits a little, what do you call it in there? Tea light. This is pretty much always on my altar. This is a, oh, it's filthy. Like a little cone incense holder. These are all things that I found. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I found, like, went once and found all of this shit. It's been a couple years, of me just gathering shit. I just go there and I look and I see what there is. This is like a little glass. I don't know if you can see here. There's kind of a annoying fucking glare, but it's got little flowers pressed between panes of glass. It's got little feet on it. For spring, I like to set my deck on top of that when it's on my altar. Also, just the last time I was there, I found this box. Alright, I love boxes, like the idea of boxes that I could put things in. But a lot of them are like just barely too small for a tarot deck to fit. But I found one that like, some of the like, not necessarily smaller, I mean, I guess, like a smaller average deck fits inside perfect, so super excited about this. It looks nice too on the altar. And like, seriously, I spent like, I think this was like $3.99. Alright, so you can go to a metaphysical store and spend fucking $40 on some shit like this, but you don't fucking have to, right? What else do I have here? Oh, a couple altar cloths. So I don't know if I'd say lucky. I have a weird shaped altar. It's like a long, skinny table. So what I can do for altar cloths is just buy like, do you know these like thin scarves? These fit on it just like a cloth. But if you didn't, I've seen some beautiful round tablecloths and things. Like, they've always got a bunch of shit like that. Like, is that old ladies buying fucking tablecloths, man? Maybe, but you know what else? It's also me buying that shit. Here's another one that I found just the last time I went. Purple's my favorite color. I feel like the first one that I showed is probably gonna be good for spring, like, which is coming up. Also, you're gonna love this. This little dragon guy. He's a candle holder. I've got a black candle in there right now, but I found him at a Goodwill. And most importantly, I don't know what, okay, most importantly, this is a little cast iron cauldron that I burn shit in, right? I found this there once. I also have like this big goddess statue. Like, she's big. There's the god statue that like goes with it. You just gotta have some patience, and there's plenty of other options out there than buying shit from your local metaphysical store. Really just for any reason. Whether they're pushy, whether there just isn't one close, you don't have the funds to buy the shit that's overpriced there for no fucking reason. The more people go in there, the more expensive it's gonna be, you know. That's just kind of the way that it is. So I'm disappointed. I'm kind of mad. So I will be breaking up with my local metaphysical shop. But I figure it's not the end of the world, you know. I can always order candles online. There are ones that people have like handmade and things. And if I have the option to do that, like financially, I would rather do that than just buy, you know, whatever they had, whatever they get for their little chime candles or whatever. I mean, ultimately, I could even use like birthday cake candles. They burn, you know, they're tiny and they burn a lot faster for your spell to be done. So I don't really know. I guess the point of this video is that I'm pissed off and I'm not gonna be going there anymore. Thanks for watching. Bye.